I need to be better.
Yeah?
I need to be better. It's a B-List Daily from the Spectrum Healthcare Partners studios across the MBR radio network. Full on better.
I was pretty impressed with the housekeeping things you did this morning. The
air conditioner removal?
Air conditioner. I couldn't think of the word air conditioner. The air conditioner's gone.
We can actually hear ourselves
dump
again.
Dump the water out of there. Yeah, you can't hear the cars going by quite so much anymore.
Yeah. I learned. I've seen... I've been in the studio before when there was a lot of water on the floor, so I try to learn.
Yeah. Well.
And the edge out there, that cement step, walking, is fantastic. However, if you want to drain your air conditioner.
There you go.
So, good stuff. We will hear from Travis Barrett from CentralMaine.com. We will hear from Cal Oakes from the Georgetown News Graphic and the Sun Journal every other week. And we will hear from former New England Patriot Willie McGinnis. It'll be a little bit of an abbreviated conversation because his phone died, but it's a conversation. And he did say, he said, quote, when asked about the Patriots defense, they need some work.
That's what he said.
He breaks down why and where, so he felt pretty good about it.
Well.
Talked a little bit about last night's Monday Night Football game as well, which I know 10 of you probably care about. But as the 49ers fan that I am, I decided to stay up last night because I know I'm not going to get to watch the 49ers on TV a lot this year.
Not very much.
I decided this year I wasn't gonna go all out. I just, I'd watch the replays, and I wouldn't be able to watch the full. I'd watch the half-hour replays on the game channel. And so last night I decided, you know what? They're on Monday Night Football. They're not getting moved. I'll watch it. See how it goes.
Heck of a game.
Great game. They totally coughed it up at the end, though. But the entire game, even when Green Bay was down, everybody's like, San Francisco's going to blow this. Aaron Rodgers is going to win. San Francisco going to blow this. Aaron Rodgers is going to win. And you know what? What did they do? San Francisco blew it, and Aaron Rodgers won.
Well, I said before we came on the air, the San Francisco had the ball. They got 7 yards on first down, so it was 2nd and 3 with a minute something to go, and they've been just slicing them up running the ball. And instead of running, they go to 2 straight passes. First one's tipped. Was it the second one that was intercepted?
Yeah.
And bing, Rodgers got his shot. He drives him down. They kick the field goal. The game's over. So
done and done.
This goes back to Shanahan when he was the offensive coordinator at Atlanta when they were playing the Patriots, and they were way ahead. And really, they had a golden opportunity to just run the ball. Even if you don't get the first down, you run maybe 2.5, maybe almost 3 minutes off the clock, dubbing around. No, they go to throw the ball. Dante Hightower, they cough the ball up, and the rest is history. So I think he outsmarted himself a couple times lately.
Couple times. I think that's what he does. I think that's the shit. It was funny. They went back to the old. Thing, and they showed some. They showed Terrell Davis out running. Oh, look, it's just like your dad did. Okay. One, the backup running back to Matt Breida is not Terrell Davis.
No.
Okay. So, I don't know. Like, he needs to realize that you can run the ball, and if you can run the ball, you're going to be a lot better off. You know what I mean? Like, just straight up.
Oh, I don't think there's any question about that, especially as you get closer when you get into the playoffs, because the good teams that get there usually get there because they're well-balanced. They can run, they can pass, and they can play defense. And if any one of those 3 is out of balance, you probably didn't get there, or you're not going to stay there.
Right.
So I think I do think, I'm old-fashioned, I think you need to be able to run at least enough to keep them honest.
Yeah.
So that your play-action pass game works.
Mm-hmm.
Play-action pass game doesn't work when you don't gain the yardage on the ground.
No.
They go, yeah, that's a fake. They don't believe it. When somebody's slicing them, you're going to pay attention to it a little bit. We also talked about C.J. Beathard. He's had some pretty good games this year,
Well, and this is what I was leading at, Let's say, and this happens all the time. I think we saw it happen at one point, where a guy gets signed and is doing doing what have you, right? And the guy behind him ends up being better.
Sure.
Right?
Well, I mean, we don't have to look very hard. Look at Brady.
Yeah.
6th-round pick, the 4th-string quarterback. They've got Bledsoe, who is really the savior of the franchise when you really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
He and Parcells came together, and it saved that franchise. They were going nowhere. And suddenly, they keep the 4th-string quarterback. Bledsoe gets hurt, and they go to him instead of the other 2 guys. And the rest is history.
Right.
But, I mean, who saw that coming? Anybody that said, we knew that he was going to be a superstar, no.
No.
You don't draft him in the 6th round if you think he's going to be a superstar. You move up in the draft and take him. Yeah, but you see that. Well, and I think you made a good point before we came on. They've had C.J. Beathard now for a couple of years. He's learned the system. He's done the kind of things that they want within their system that makes it work for them. He's ahead. Now, that doesn't mean that Garoppolo isn't going to pass him eventually, but I think they might have got a little anxious, signed him to the big contract because, they knew that they wanted to keep him, and suddenly, you could make the case, at least for this year anyway, have they wasted their money? Because he didn't do anything in those first games that would say to you, oh my God, this guy is Pat Mahomes. Mahomes category, not anywhere close. So now, is he going to be a really good quarterback? I still think he is. You say it may not be for San Francisco, even though you'd like it to be.
Right.
Football teams, so much different than the other professional sports. If they see some little fat laying on the edge, they trim it right off. They don't waste any time. The collective bargaining agreement is clearly stilted towards the team, not the player. And they won't, if somebody's not going to be the big-time player they thought they were, they'll eat some cap money and move on.
Yeah. And that'll happen because I'm not sure if you look at the contracts for football. Hold on here. NFL contracts, salary cap. When he signed that contract, I mean, he got quite a bit on that. So let's see.
So it's the upfront guaranteed money that makes a difference in the cap space.
Yeah, and that's how that works. So with contracts, you've got, as I'm loading it up right now, at overthecap.com. Loading
Should I
through.
sing while we're waiting for our internet?
Yeah, his total guaranteed money was $48 million.
Yeah, I said 50. I wasn't bad.
So $27.5 million per year. Now I don't know how that would work if he got cut, if he got whatever.
How many years?
Well, he signed for 5. It's a 5-year, $137 million deal. He received a $7 million signing bonus and a $28 million roster bonus as part of his first-year salary. So he's already been paid $35 million.
Yeah.
His 2018 and $7.5 million of his 2019 salary are fully guaranteed, bringing the full guarantee to $48.7 million. $74.1 million of the contract is guaranteed for injury, and there are annual per-game roster bonuses of $800,000. So in 2018... he's going to be he's going to end up being the way this whole thing's going to work is he's only going to be a cap hit if he's cut before June 1st of like $6.5 million next year. So if they're going to cut him, they'd have to cut him that time. You know what I mean? In dead money for next year, $8.9 million. So I could see them keeping him, and then maybe in 2020. He'd only be a $1.4 million cap hit.
There you go.
If they cut him, at a certain point before June 1st, or after June 1st. So either way, they're going to end up they're going to have to do something. Okay, but that would end up saving them about 20 something, 30. I mean, they would save them quite a bit of money moving forward. So if Beathard turns out to be competent. And he runs that offense decently. Let's say Garoppolo comes back and struggles next year for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Maybe he hangs out for the rest of the year as the backup and he works his way back. They cut him after June 1st, or, the Patriots and then make a trade. Let's say Brady and Gronk are talking about, it seems like everything after 19 is where everything breaks. Well, after next year, It's possible that Jimmy Garoppolo could be available again. If Jimmy Garoppolo is available again, then guess what? You might be looking at him as your future quarterback. You may still see him as that quarterback. And that's why I pay attention to that scenario, because it is clear that Bill Belichick liked Jimmy Garoppolo a lot.
Said things about
however it worked out with Brady, it doesn't matter. However any of that stuff works out with Brady is however it works out with Brady. It's clear he likes him. And it's clear that if he became available, my guess is if he wanted to resurrect his career, he'd want to go to a place where he already knows the system. And he'd want to go to a place where he already knows the personnel that are coaching specifically. And it would be the best place for him to get that stuff done.
Sure.
So,
makes sense to me.
Keep that in mind. Tuck that in your back pocket. It's still a long way from fruition. You know, C.J. Beathard's going to win some football games probably.
Yeah, you know, again, I think it depends on the coaching philosophy. Do you want your quarterback to be the Aaron Rodgers, it all falls on his shoulders, he's the game changer? Or do you want it to be the guy, when Brady started, think about it, they didn't expect him to win the games. They just needed him to make good decisions, hand the ball to Antoine Smith, play great defense, and scratch out wins. And we saw that flash of what he's going to be when they got down at the very end of the game against the Rams in the Super Bowl. Everybody on all the pundits was saying, "Oh yeah, just rush it up in the line, take a knee, and wait for overtime." No, he threw the ball to Redmond, a Hall of Fame name, wrong, you know, that nobody ever heard of, including us, saying, "Who's that guy again?"
Oh yeah,
and he hit Brown over the middle with a big one. Then he went out of bounds.